morning. What's up? What's going on? Welcome to the live stream for Wednesday, September 7th. I hope your Labor Day was good. That was the last time I saw y'all. Well, it was the last time y'all hopped in. I don't think I have a chat for today because I think I said it for made for kids, and it's not made for kids. So here's what we'll do. Hopefully there's a chat. That would be cool. I doubt it though. That's all right. I know we're live because I got the notification for it. I heard it go. So, we're just gonna mess around with this for a little bit. Oh, there we are. No. Go back. Okay. But yeah, we're gonna be so I can pull this up. Yeah, I don't think I have a chat for today. Sorry, friends. I wish I did. I'll change it. I'll change it in the after to mess around with this for a little bit. Oh, there we are. Oh, wait, I don't want to hear. You don't want to hear me in the thing. I do have a chat. Okay, cool. I do have a chat. It's just not popping up on my thing. So I'll pay attention to it on my phone. Hopefully I'll pay attention to it on my phone. Hopefully I'll see it pop up. Maybe if I open it in YouTube. And I'm going to share this to Facebook. But we're going to be hanging out in Luke 23 today. That's where we're going to be. And I'm all confruzzled today. Let me drink some coffee. You know what happens last time I didn't have coffee? I was muted for 2 whole minutes. Let's go ahead. Oh, that's me. Let's change that. There we go. Y'all don't want to see my ugly mug twice. We're going to be in Luke 23. We're going to be hanging out in 32 through 56, I believe. No, 30. No. Yeah, 32 through 56. So if you like to read from a physical Bible, I'll give you some time to turn to it. Because I know for me, it takes me a while to find like if it's not the Gospels, Acts, or Romans, I got to look at the directory and be like, okay, where you at, bro? Like if you're coming from the book of Obadiah, I think that's somewhere in the Old Testament. Maybe towards the latter half. But thanks for joining in. If you're here, if you're watching this, please subscribe. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers, not to become rich and famous, but we just want to change our channel name from user CH593243 to @SoCincy, so that everything's nice and streamlined. You can follow us on all social media platforms, the major ones at least: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Here on YouTube, I think you just type in SoCincy. We're like the only channel that pops up, so that's pretty cool. And coming soon, TikTok. So I'm having a conversation soon with my wife, Kristen, who is partner with me in our ministry, where we equip churches to evangelize and disciple in a meaningful, neat way, where they're able to you get the skills. Like when you come to one of our classes, which we're teaching tonight at 7:00. It's the last class at Peace Baptist Church at 652 Rockdale Avenue. If you're in the Cincinnati area and you're watching this, join us tonight. Even though it's the last one, you'll still learn something. But we operate in real life scenarios and those kinds of things to give you the tools to practice your evangelism, because a lot of people know what to say, but they're not quite sure how they say it. And the old saying is, practice makes perfect. So that's what we do. So again, that's tonight at 7:00. So let's go ahead and jump into Bible study. We're running a little bit behind because I'm selfish and I wanted to have my coffee. But that's okay. So Luke 23, reads as follows. We're in verse 32. If you're new to school like me, where you like it digital, then it's super quick, super easy. Verse 32. 2 others, both criminals, were led out to be executed with him. When they came to a place called the Skull, they nailed him to the cross, and the criminals were also crucified, one on his right and one on his left. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they are doing." And the soldiers gambled for his clothes by throwing dice. The crowd watched, and the leaders scoffed. "He saved others," they said. "Let him save himself, for if he is really God's Messiah, the chosen one." The soldiers mocked him too by offering him a drink of sour wine. They called out to him, "If you are the king of the Jews, save yourself." A sign was fastened above him with these words, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals hanging behind him scoffed, "So you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourself and us too while you're at it." But the other criminal protested, "Don't you fear God even when you have been sentenced to die? We deserve to die for our crimes, but this man hasn't done anything wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise." By this time it was about noon, and darkness fell across the whole land until 3 o'clock. The light from the sun was gone, and suddenly the curtain of the sanctuary of the temple was torn down the middle. Then Jesus shouted, "Father, I entrust my spirit into your hands." And with those words he breathed his last. When the Roman officer overseeing the execution saw what had happened, he worshipped God and said, "Surely this man was innocent." And when all the crowd that came to see the crucifixion saw what had happened, they went home in deep sorrow. But Jesus' friends, including the women who had followed him from Galilee, stood at a distance watching. Now there was a good and righteous man named Joseph. He was a member of the Jewish High Council, but he had not agreed with the decision and actions of the other religious leaders. He was from the town of Arimathea in Judea. Like I said, you just go for it. And he was waiting for the kingdom of God to come. He went to Pilate and asked for Jesus' body. Then he took the body down from the cross and wrapped it in a long sheet of linen cloth and laid it in a new tomb that had been carved out of rock. This was done late on Friday afternoon, the day of preparation, as the Sabbath was about to begin. As his body was taken away, the women from Galilee followed and saw the tomb where his body was placed. Then they went home and prepared spices and ointments to anoint his body. But by the time they were finished, the Sabbath had begun, so they rested as required by the law. That's interesting, that last part. They rested as required by law. But when you read this or anything, as usual, it's, if you've been watching these videos now for a little bit, the questions stay the same, and they're pretty easy. What does this passage, what does this say about God, about Jesus, and about his plan? What does the passage say about God, about Jesus, or his plan? And I'm going to keep it simple because it's early and we're going to be getting off soon. Verse 34, Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they are doing." This phrase, "they don't know what they're doing," I've read it, not this from this verse particular, like just in Jesus' own words. Oftentimes, like he's just like, you don't know what I'm planning. Like you don't know what's coming. And I'm curious, this would be more of a study. When he's saying forgive them, is he referring to the soldiers? Is he referring to people in general? Is he referring to the Jews? Because it'd be interesting, and these are just my thoughts. It's interesting that this is all, like the crucifixion, the death, everything is needed for the salvation of everyone. Like Jesus died for the sins of the world, right? So I would study. This is where I would hang out. Like if I was going to do a deep study, I would go into the Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. and what is the ramifications of here. And I like digital because you can always click on things. Okay, so this says 2334A. This sentence is not included in many ancient manuscripts. So that's an interesting statement. Not want it to go away. So what does this say about God and Jesus' plan? You can leave a comment down this in the comment section on the chat because it is live. Also, what does it say about humans? We see two very distinct personalities come about. We see the mocking and the submission, the obedience. The soldiers mocked. The soldiers gambled for his clothes by throwing dice. The leading up to this, the people were mocking and screaming, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Those things. You have the criminal. You have it indistinctly in the two criminals by Jesus' side. One saying, like, "You're the Messiah, or you prove it by saving yourself and us too." Like that's he probably didn't sound like that. But that's just what I imagine. That's just what I imagine. And so you have the heart that mocks, and then you have the heart that is to obedience. You have the thief who's like he's like, bro, like, we deserve to be up here. This guy does not. Like, Jesus, remember me. And then, like, the Roman officer overseeing the execution, it says he worshiped God and said, "Surely this man was innocent." Like, you have that submission. You have Joseph, who disagreed with the high. You have that submission. He wants to help out. And then you have the disciples and the women. So those are the two, like, really the two heart postures of this whole scene that happens. You have mocking and you have submission. You have bitterness and you have mercy. You have anger, if you want to call it anger, and you have, this is a person who loves because he so greatly loved me. And that's, when it boils down to it, that's where all people are at. They're mocking, or they're on the, well, I won't say it's where people are at. They're mocking, or they're on this journey of coming close to Jesus and his message. What am I doing well? What do I need to change? Is my heart towards mocking? Is my heart towards love and mercy and grace and knowing, Jesus, I mess up constantly, but you are so good. You I don't know why, but you forgive us all the time. Thank you for that. And then who needs to hear this story? And that's kind of the idea, right? When you share this story, where are they on this journey? Are you doing things that bring about interest and investigation into Jesus for someone who doesn't know Jesus? Are you at a place of bringing interest and investigation so that they can go from that mocking heart to a place of surrender and worship and adoration of Jesus Christ and all that he's done for us? And I think that's a good place to end. So yeah. So if you're here, thanks for watching the live stream. Appreciative as always. Just a simple guy doing a live stream, bringing the Bible, a little bit of light into your dark day. I hope you have a great day at work as you get ready for work. You can follow us on all social media platforms at SoCincy, but also hit the subscribe button for us. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We love you. We thank you. We encourage you for today. And until next time, we'll see you Friday, 7 a.m. right here for the Bible study for September 9th. Until then, I'm not going to do that. That was weird. We'll see you.